Hey, my name's Phil the Cruz. Welcome to Cruising with Phil. I got a special guest. I met this lady 2 weeks ago downtown at Nathan Phillips Square. Mrs. or Miss
Mrs.
Mrs. Sherry Crawford. How you doing, Sherry? Thanks for coming on the
I'm
show.
good. I'm good. Yeah.
Good. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Tell who you are and what you're all about.
Well, my name is Sherry Crawford, as we have established, and my ceremonial name is White Bear Standing. And that came through a shake tent ceremony back in the late 90s, I guess. And so since that time, I've really connected to my name. I have also, since that time, discovered my Algonquin roots and that I am indeed Bear Clan too. So it all kinds of tied in together for me. I am originally from Bancroft, but I have lived in Toronto for 17 years. I lived in the Millbrook area, and that's where we reside now in Millbrook, which is around Peterborough.
Oh, wow. And how we met? We met there. I was at the local business forum there 2 weeks ago on a Monday, and I was walking down to get something to eat, and you have me down at Nathan Phillips Square there. And something you told me is really interesting. That I like what you said. Remember what we talked about at the beginning, which I didn't know about the rental space.
Oh, yeah. I'm trying to start a new initiative. What I offer is a little bit different through my art. Like a lot of artists will, paint and they'll do their art and stuff, and that's great. But what I'm offering is education. Much needed education. We've come 150 some odd years celebrating Canada Day with very little recognition and change. It's very slow coming. And so we started an initiative, me and my partner, that we were going to go out to events, provide education, information, and beautiful art, and have it a win-win situation. So we educate as well as sell our goods, and the people who come up to our tables get some education. So it's a little disheartening when, we have to go out and pay huge amounts of money to sell our products on our land. So it's a challenge.
I didn't know that. Yeah, so you have to pay a percentage from renting a space at City Hall down on the Nathan Phillips Square. There, you have to was a percentage of what do you make a profit? Did you give back to the city?
Uh, they did do that, yes.
Yeah.
We this was kind of a last minute thing for us, so we kind of just showed up at the last minute type of thing, and that was how they had organized it. And we were supporting a non-profit organization, women's group. So in that situation, it was okay. We all share,
That's right.
and so I was there to support another cause, in which case, the rental space wasn't an issue, and they were very generous in offering a discount.
Oh, that's good. But sure, it's funny you said at the beginning when I first met you, it's, we should be why should we be paying for using our land? It's funny how you said that.
Well,
It's
it
so
is,
true.
but
Yeah,
it's all our land. So what are we going to do?
yeah,
Kick everybody out and send them
yeah.
all,
Just for
scurrying different
just for
places?
reversing the rental space to everybody else. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, I mean, I seriously believe that what I have to offer is worth paying me.
Yeah.
And so, I mean, a lot of times I educate for free. I'll go out and do events and I don't get any compensation for it. And it's really not fair. It's taken me like 25 years to go back and pick up the pieces of my culture and try to learn and then try to help my own people along with a lot of other Canadians who are still very ignorant to the situation that's happened and continues to happen.
Mhm.
But I try not to get too political. I really want to just, share my art, share some beautiful teachings that go with it. And that's kind of where I'm coming from. I'm not one of those really kind of people. I'm more of a, a lover than a fighter. And but I do think education is important, and I will go out of my comfort zone to educate those who sort of cross my path and need a little instant eye opener.
That's so cool. It's funny that I was gonna ask you a question you can answer that you already answered you well. What's your feeling about the whole now with the in the some last few years the acknowledgement land acknowledgement every time we have a debate or an or talk or a town now we always acknowledge the land. What do you think about that personally?
Well, I'll start off first by saying when we did a land acknowledgement in the past, it would be we all recognized each other's territories. So if I came onto your territory, we would sit together, we would smoke a pipe, we would acknowledge that thank you very much for letting me come onto your land and use it for whatever purpose, hunting or fishing or whatever, trading. And we would together rejoice in that sharing of that moment and that land. Whereas nowadays, when they are doing this land acknowledgement, they're basically saying, we acknowledge it's your land. We acknowledge we stole your land. We acknowledge we're not giving it back to you, but there you go. It's your land, and
But
there's our
yeah,
acknowledgement.
yeah, it's
So
kind of like yeah,
you
it's
know,
kind of like
I realize what they're trying to do and what
yeah.
the purpose of that is, but it's still missing a lot of stuff
Well,
in between.
well,
I have a really cool little saying here on my wall. It says, it basically says it all. I don't know. Can you read that?
yeah, it looks like you're attempting to jump, just raise it up to jump, healing, reconciliation, unity without past accountability. I love that. That's so cool. That is so true. Yeah.
Yeah, so it's like, please go back and finish accountability and consequences before trying to successfully load healing, reconciliation, and unity. I mean,
Hmm.
it says it all. Like if people want all the unity and they want everything to be great, but they don't want to take those steps in between, which means uh, honestly acknowledging what's happened and trying to fix that instead of just trying to sweep it under the rug.
Well, what do you think they should do further? But besides saying, I acknowledge this land, so, what do you think they should do further for themselves?
Well, they could basically state the facts that yes, this is stolen land. We did take it. We have not compensated fairly. Um, acknowledge that it's stolen. You know, it's like
That's a good
saying,
thing.
I, 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 I I always say it's like, my grandfather had this beautiful pickup truck, and your grandfather stole it from my grandfather.
Yeah.
And all these years later, you passed it down, and now your grandson is driving it. And my grandson's driving by going, hey, that used to be my grandfather's truck that they stole. Look, he's still driving it. It still works really good. I'd still like to have it, but no, they're not going to give it to me.
That's so funny.
So yeah, it's funny, but it's sad at the same time because that's where we're at. People just want to acknowledge that, yeah, it happened, but it's not happening anymore. That happened a long time ago, when in realistic terms, the last residential school closed in 1996, and
Wow.
that's not that long ago. So,
Funny you mentioned about the education. Like I'm fortunate because I grew up with the in with I call it the original peoples. I don't like the indigenous word for
mm,
me sounds so kind of foreign. I always tell people like my friends from different nations, I go, you guys are the original peoples, not the indigenous to me. So I'm fortunate because I always had education. Like I was around grew up my family. Like I told you, I served at the Bon Echo trip there. My that I only tell you
right,
because some people wouldn't understand that. Only you would understand that my experiences there. But I grew up with
mm,
that, respecting the carvings, the land there, and also serving the military. I served a lot of people from different nations, and I was educated about the residential schools, the traditions, about smudging, sweat lodges. I never knew any of it, but I'm
right.
fortunate. But I'm fortunate that the education's still not there. But I can see myself like I've asked my nephews and nieces in schools, like they don't have there's no education about that whatsoever. They know, which I think they're lacking. Because
Mhm.
the
Well,
poor,
it's
yeah,
funny you mentioned Bon Echo because I am trying.
land. I'd rather say that. So I know it's a stolen land after it hasn't been returned to you. Now that would be too politically incorrect to say something like that, right? In their views, right? Because I'll throw people like have people like, and it's funny. I wish they would say that because you know what? People hear that and go like, "What are they talking about? What's stolen land?" They look into that, right? Like they're like,
Yeah, I
"What's
didn't
stolen?
do it. It wasn't
Yeah, what's
me.
stolen land?
I've
What you
had
stole land off these
politicians
people?
say,
You're acknowledging these people and you stole their land. What are you talking? Why didn't you give it back to them? That would make an uproar. I think that'd be cool. Say it. I'd
yeah,
rather say that. Yeah. Add that into it as
yeah,
well. I like your table of all your art there. Can you want to talk about some of your art there?
sure. Well, I started painting about 10 years ago, I guess. Not a long time ago, really, but um, I met a Hungarian artist who owned an indigenous art museum.
Okay.
And so she kind of took me under her wing, and she was like 84 and I was in my 50s, and we just really connected. And she taught me a lot about art and the art world. And it's pretty brutal, but um, through my art, I share some of the grandfather teachings, which are love, respect, truth. wisdom, honesty, bravery, and humility. So I'll put, a lot of sevens in, not the number, but, maybe seven circles or seven hearts or whatever. I also will draw the medicine wheel in most of my paintings, representing the four life stages and just how everything has a life cycle, and that not to be afraid of death because it's just part of our cycle. We are born, we live, we die, and then we go to the contemplation stage, review the past life, and plan the next one. That cycle never ends, just like the seasons. Every spring we have a spring, and we have summer, we have fall, and then we have winter.
Funny how we talk about death, like cultures of the indigenous people, original peoples, even other cultures like I just study history. A lot of this, they really like I said, death is part of our story, right? We like the Egyptians and they make it like they have like a 40-day, 70-day ceremony for death, like a whole big thing. But it's part of their life. It's not like a morbid thing to it. It's just a celebration of life. The celebration of death is the life you had and the life you're gonna have after whatever you believe in, right? So I think it's so cool. Like we have their like my cousin just passed away not too long ago, and we're all in morbid about her pass away. But I always say, let's celebrate her life. I mean, let's not be sad about it. It's unfortunately she's gone, but she's in a better life and she's not in pain anymore. But it's a celebration of the life we had. So rather, because everybody like I live in an Italian neighborhood all my life, so I went to a lot of funerals. Always black and all that, and to this day, I will never wear black. I didn't go to a funeral. I was blue or I want to wear white. But it's just like people get offended when you wear a different color. They're like, what's like it's not a case. I'm not offending. I'm just celebrating his life for also made her. She likes pink. Like one of my friends likes pink, and she passed away. I would love to wear pink in her honor. I mean, you go to a funeral,
Mhm.
like because it's all stereotype right now the way we look at things, right? Why are you wearing pink at a
Yeah.
funeral? Well, I'm celebrating her life because she loved pink, and I want to represent her, right? That people think.
Mhm.
I think it's old fashioned, old standards that got on the kind of undated. But like I said, part of life of the four cycles and all. And like all the stuff you mentioned, like the cycles and the wheel, the medicine wheel, it's just all needs to be educated not just high school, but grade school, from way down. Like when I grew up in grade school, I didn't have none of this. I only learned this a little bit in high school from friends that are part of different nations. And then when I joined the military, I learned a lot more. Like I really educated. I just loved it. I went to my first sweat there years ago and told the traditions of what to talk about, and it just you tell the people go what's a sweat lodge. So now you have to be educated. Like there's a few movies I don't know. I talked about one called Snowwalker. It's an American movie, but
Right.
based on I think it was up in the Alaska. It was I don't know if it's based on a true story. We talk about how the woman taught the native woman taught the white guy how to survive out in out when a plane is stranded. I love movies like that. That shows realism. We're talking about earlier about the some of the old fashioned American movies. Way back the way they display things is so funny.
Well, it's really sad, and it's funny
Yeah, I'm
that
like,
people
yeah.
still think that John Wayne Indians are the way we were and we the way we are. And I've gone to workshops, and I've perhaps I had a 25 what do you call them? Cub Scouts, and we were doing a talking stick workshop. And my first question was, how many of you children today thought that I would be standing in front of you wearing feathers and a headdress? Every one of them put their hand up.
See, it's,
So
it's
they were expecting me to be the real Indian, like in
yeah.
John Wayne. And so that's how much education we teach our children. So
Yeah, so it's kind of ignorant, but it's so funny. Like what they've been shot as kids, right? Some of the like when I watch
yeah.
now, like I collect a lot of movies from my mom or my family. They come on, I can't watch it with you, man. I'm disrespecting the people I know. Just
Yeah.
I was a kid and get away with it. But even when you're educated, you're aware of things that the difference. You can't just sit there as a hypocrite and watch it. Like even the some of the more recent, like Dancing with Wolves. I don't know if you saw that.
I saw it years ago when it first came out. I don't think I was that impressed with it then, and
Yeah,
I think I mentioned to you it's kind of funny that her face was always dirty and her hair was
yeah,
always
that's right.
uncombed, and like that's
And she's the only one that had an American
um,
accent. I named the
yeah.
she was adopted, right? In the movie, she was white. I think I can't remember. She was
It's been so long. I'll
yeah,
have
it's
to
been a
watch it
while.
again.
I
Mm.
just some of the it's so I think if we're gonna make movies like this in the future, like even any other different nationality, we have to actually live the culture. You know, you have to be
Well,
part of
there
that
are
culture.
some movies out now that are truthful, like what is it, Iron Horse is
Yeah.
um, is really telling and sort of gives you a bit of a history lesson. we used to have a TV show years ago called North of 60, and
Yes.
it was great because it was about this little community called Lynx River, and it was a flying community, and it basically just gave you a real good glimpse into what Indigenous life is like in these small communities and the struggles that they face every day. So that's a very good show if you ever get a chance
Yeah, I
to
used to
see
watch.
that
Yeah,
series.
the guy, what's his name? He got more famous from that series.
Kennedy, he plays
Uh,
Peter Kennedy, but his name is
yeah, he's. I think he's my probably back. He's more renowned
Tom
now.
Jackson.
Tom Jackson, yeah, yeah, good actor, good actor, yeah, yeah. He's
Yeah,
been in a lot of now. He does a lot. He does quite a bit of sci-fi movies. He does guest appearances and all. So it's kind of yeah, yeah. I definitely from that series I used to watch it years ago. There was two other
yeah.
guys. Him and another guy used to be on. There's another guy. What's that show called? Gas Station. Oh, it's a series. It's a comedy series.
Oh yeah, yeah.
What's
Corner Gas,
Porter guy? But one of the guys is from that. I think he's from that series too. He plays kind of
Lauren
a
Cardinal.
yeah. He plays kind of a character, like a silly character,
Yeah,
right? Yeah.
yeah.
So it's kind of like doesn't really touch too much on the culture or whatever. So it's kind of
Yeah, there's not too much culture going on there.
you talked about you did a coloring book too, right? You said
Oh yeah, I put together a little book. It talks a little bit about the medicines that we smudge with, a little bit about Turtle Island, a little bit about bears, and just about 20 some odd pages that kids can color and learn about at the same time.
is it
Yeah,
published
I'm
already?
going. It is, but I'm redoing it, updating it a bit. So I'm going to add some new images, and that's sort of in the works, but not quite ready yet.
Did you try like before putting in some of the bookstores?
Um, I'm not at that level. I'm I'm an artist that's not high tech. So in order to get to that stage of being in bookstores and stuff, I've got to up my game a bit.
Okay.
Whereas my game is education, and it's never really been high tech. I figure I can share the messages just the same without having that
All the
extra.
yeah, all the extra stuff that goes with the ISBNs and all that stuff. I
Yeah.
was trying to say you're trying to read that what you said on your card there. Man, what's Kijicha, Manito?
Pichico, Manitou,
Yep.
Mata-Uskarini, Algonquin
Algonquin.
Nation.
That's so cool. You want to explain about that?
Well, there's 10 Algonquin communities, and as I'm not, again, I don't get too political, but there's always controversy around who's Indigenous and who's not, and the pretendians and all that stuff. So, we are one of 10 communities. We're a very small community in Bancroft. We are recognized. A lot of my family members are applying and getting their status cards. I have yet to do that, but I had a bit of a setback. We lost our house in a fire in November, so all my documentation and everything that I had
Oh,
prepared and
yes.
put together to apply for the status all got destroyed. So I have to gather all that information again. But the community is great. We have a little school up there, like daycare center that's all Indigenous led. And we have, events up there. We'll have our community barbecue coming up here in August. And yeah, it's my hometown. I grew up in that area, and so now when I go home, it's like going home.
Nice. Yeah, wow. I was gonna say at I get into the information, the local business forum, they have it in, I just had it. They have another one in September. When I went down the last year, the very first time they had all the different booths. So they have a booth set up for the Indigenous, their arts and displays and all. So that's some of the information. You probably have to pay for that, of course. Yeah, but it's a separate area. It was nice seeing all the art there,
Mm.
and so cool. So yeah, so your comic, yeah, so great. You remind us. I don't know if you're related to somebody. My one of my friend's mothers. You look so much like her. Like what's her last name? Well, the common name is Smith, but
Mm.
I think she's got some indigenous background because the resemblances, the features is so much. Her name is Sheila Smith. That's her English name.
Mm.
Yeah, but she told me a long time ago that they come from a big indigenous culture, but through the years it's been kind of like uh English Canadian size, like 'cause they've lost some of their heritage and all. That's awesome. I've seen like two of my buddies are part of different nations in the military, and they were not educated in any of their cultures or nothing. they actually learned about it later on as they got older. They went back to their roots and discovered more. So it's kind of interesting about our knowing our roots and all. Like even the kid, like
Hmm.
kids in school now, they show these they bring. I was going to ask you, have you ever been invited to any of the schools to bring your art and tell your story, whatever, just to about your background?
Yeah, actually, just last October, I was at the Bancroft North Hastings High School,
Mhm.
and I did a session with the art students, and
Wow, how'd that
we
go?
talked and shared some art. That was good. Yeah, I took some of my images, and everybody had a chance to make them their own, and that went over very well. And so I hope to do more of that. I'm actually working on my project right now is trying to get a vehicle like a camper or something like that that I can put my art in and leave it in there and have it set up so that I'm not constantly lugging
Yeah,
back and forth and loading my car and unloading. It's just too much. And so I need either a brick and mortar or a vehicle that would suffice to do that. So I'm kind of maybe thinking of starting a fundraising campaign to get me a nice little camper slash art gallery that we can actually drive around to the smaller communities and schools where many people would never get the opportunity to see some of this kind of art and things, and I just think that that would be a great thing to add to Canadian schools and stuff,
that'd be so
because
cool. Yeah,
yeah, I think it would be really a win-win situation,
that's a lot
and
of
so
yeah, wear and tear taking
yeah,
your stuff in and out of the back and forth. Yeah, having your vehicle like
yeah.
we have our like library, we have mobile libraries right over in Toronto, right? So something like that.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Well, everything's mobile now. You got food
yeah.
trucks, so why not an art truck, right?
I know. I have a buddy that's he does renovation cars. He's amazing. He does it all from his brain. He's trying to expand his company, but I said he's been trying to like do a website and stuff. And I said, come on, you get on, I'll help you out. But he's like he's too busy, but now he's slowing down with the business. But he did like he does a lot of rich people. He took this one van, he turned into an apartment with a toilet and a washroom and a shower. And he took a van, presses the button in the back of this fancy car. This bar comes up. It's like, oh my gosh. Like he
I
doesn't
need
write
to
anything.
know this guy.
I
I've
know,
got
yeah.
this
Well,
nice.
yeah, he's Armenian guy. Amazing work this guy does. But I said, once you get it, first you got to get a laptop, buddy. I said, you need a laptop, you need a website. Well, I'll do the website for you once you get your laptop. So you're not using mine because you got to get your own. He's got the skills, but he doesn't have the advertisement to do it. He needs more work. I told him what the
Right.
local business is, and this is how you get your work out there. I mean, your work is amazing. Just like what you said about the mobile, he could do something like that, like press buttons and the doors would slide. Like he showed me like
Yeah,
yeah, just like he had like one van. It was a big, humongous, like a camper, and he turned it into like a sporting bar for this guy. He had all lights and the neons and on. You press the button, it
nice.
comes up. Yeah, but he doesn't write anything down. Just from his brain, that's the kind of stuff. So like you said about your mobile van, that would be great. It'd be kind
Well,
of
I'm
cool.
actually
I'm
I'm
looking at
supposed
I'm
to
looking
go
at.
look at I'm gonna go look at an 86
Oh yeah.
Toyota Escaper.
Oh okay.
And it's like four cylinders, so it'd be really good on gas and it's drivable. He's driving it right now. So I may over the weekend get a chance to go and take a look at that and it's a little expensive, but maybe if I put some fundraising
Yeah.
information out there, people will want to chip in and help a little bit.
Let me see. I'm looking at the future. Your Sherry's van coming. The kids are expecting your van coming into town and all.
Oh yeah, yeah, and it's not going to
Advertise.
just be any van. It's
No,
going to
no,
be you're going to see us coming. You're going to know it's us.
that's yeah, that's so cool. And you can advertise that in the future. Yeah, just getting your art around. And you're educating people as well too.
Hmm.
Nice one.
We have something really cool that just happened on the weekend. I was up in Bancroft, my community, for a farmer's market, and that was really good. It was really busy, but they had finally finished a project that we have been working on for about a year, where they used my images. I have seven paintings of white bears, and they are all describing a grandfather teaching.
Oh
So,
wow.
one bear is love, respect, truth, wisdom, honesty, bravery, and humility. So each of these bears in a painting can be organized, and it creates a puzzle of one giant bear,
Wow.
which is to represent that when we follow the seven grandfather teachings in the Good Red Road, we become whole. For me, that is the whole bear. And so they just amazingly made these seven images into seven signs that go along the pathway of the Wawatessi walking trail. It's an ATV trail, it's snowmobiles, it's everything walking. And so my images are now lining this whole trail
That's
um,
so neat.
with
Oh wow.
solar lights and benches. And there's a really nice statement with my name and what they represent. So I'm going to be famous in Bancroft.
You sent me a whole bunch of pictures earlier the other day, right?
Yeah, that's the pictures of that signage. That's
That's
all
so
along the
cool.
trail.
I'll put those pictures up on the web there on the I'll put them on Facebook. It's advertised for you, and people can check it
Yeah,
out. And they put a link to your website. They can check it out there. No, I haven't
sure.
got your. I just looked briefly in your website. It's called www.whitebearstandingcreative.ca.
Well, maybe you can help me with that too, because for some reason it's got unlinked to that,
Oh,
and
okay,
it's like jamesfineartcollection.com. That was my original, but then I linked it to make it White Bear Standing, and I don't know
okay.
what's happened, but now it's not coming up under White Bear Standing, so I don't
Is the
know.
web is the website still accessible?
Yes, I have to go in and I guess upgrade it and do all that stuff, but it's
Okay,
so time consuming.
so if
Yeah.
I type in this www.whitebearstandingcreative.ca, it won't come up. It'll be
It probably won't come up. No, you'll have to find it through another source. There's lots. If you
okay.
Google me, you'll find it eventually. But
Okay. And
yeah,
also,
I go.
you're having problems with your other email yesterday. We were trying to send you the link there for the invite. There, the your first email was Sherry C dot netsicom dot net.
Sherry C at nexicom.net.
Yeah, and we had problems getting that. This one worked. The other email worked. So
Yeah.
yeah, I'll look on the Google about this white beer. I'm sure you'll find it. We can just fix it up, whatever, you know.
But if you go to
Yeah.
jamesfineartcollection.com, that's my son's name. So I figured once I'm gone, it's all going to be his. So I just put it in his
Okay.
name already.
Okay. Send me the an email after the interview, and I'll put the link on there. We can work on the white beer standing as well. You know.
Sure. I know. I think I got the connection through GoDaddy or something, and I bought the domain, and then I'm not very techy. And so
Looking
now
I'm looking at the
yeah.
they gave me this they got this new Zoom setup. They don't even usually display you have like 10 minutes left. It just says you have 10 minutes left. But you put the thing on. I'm waiting to see if anything comes up, but there's it's kind of like
Oh, I
blank.
see.
So usually it says it usually says 10 minutes you got left and it count downs, but there's nothing coming up. So I'm just counting from 10 minutes down. So I got 10 minutes. So I'll just talk for a
Oh,
bit and then we can go into the if you have time to go to another session for the
yeah,
talk.
sure.
Yeah.
Hmm.
We'll just talk for another 5 minutes and then we'll end this and go to the next one there. So it's great.
Okay.
So yeah, nice meeting you. It's so funny how you know how fate works. I always believe in fate, how things work. I was coming down, just walking down from the local booths. I was starving. I was looking for, so I'll go to Nathan Bill's grave. So then I saw all the booths, and I then saw yours as well. You know, who's the lady who was with you? What's your name? The lady who was with
Her name is Carrie. She's a new business partner. We just connected a couple of months ago. She made these beautiful gloss art images. And then when I saw her work, I said, "Oh, I think that would look really cool if some of my images were on your glass." And she said, "I'd love to do that." So she basically put her business aside and decided she was going to come full force with me. So we've been doing all kinds of events together. I was actually on CTV Berry News on June 21st for Indigenous Day. The weatherman, Casey Colby,
you? Cool. Yeah,
is he's quite a character and everyone
he
really
is.
loves
Yeah,
him.
he's been
So
around.
he came out and interviewed me and took some footage of my art and stuff. And I was actually painting, so that was kind of cool. I'm still working on that painting. I'm going to get it
Oh, so
finished one of
cool.
these days. But um, yeah, that was fun. And so I'm going to be back in the Wasaga Beach area on when is it? July 29th.
Okay.
There's a fellow out there, David Spector, and he has an amazing Indigenous art collection. And he has an art gallery called Shoreline Arts, and it's right on the beach.
Yeah, I know who you're talking
So
about. Yeah. He's
yeah,
been around for a while. This guy.
he has.
His stuff's oh my god, his stuff's just like wow. You know,
Yeah,
like I talked to him once. I go, how do you get this? How do you get the concept, the way all of your ideas that come, he puts on paper? He told me he trying to get into the brain and put on paper something that's difficult, but when he gets it on there, he feels like just gets right into the whole, just absorb into the art and all that. Yeah, he's amazing. Yeah, just unique. Yeah, I've never seen anything like. I don't think I've seen a lot of art around like different parts of North America from the military, but I've never seen anything like his. Like his just stands out.
Well, he has a lot of Ojibwe artists' works, like J. Bell Redbird and Russell Naganash and Steve Snake, and um, he doesn't really do a lot of Moroso, I think, because of the controversy and stuff like that. But he has quite a collection for sure, and I'm actually quite honored to be part of his little show, not little show, but his show because I'm the only female artist that he actually represents
Oh,
other than Daphne Ojake. So that's kind of nice to be put in that category. Not that I
yeah, so
deserve
cool.
that yet, but
That's so
he is working to get me a little exposure. So I appreciate that too.
great. So we'll end it here. I don't They don't give you a time out there. I don't know what they're doing. This some news format. We'll just end here, and you want to take a pick a break and start off the second one, or what? Or what?
Sure, I'll go get another cup of tea
Okay, get it.
and
Yeah,
then
I'll see you
I'll
in about five
click
minutes
on the
then.
other one.
Okay. So I'll just end here
Okay,
for part one, and I'll end the meeting. I'll see you in
okay.
about 5 minutes.